Hey guys, welcome to the show. Today I have someone named Borja Obeso with me on the show today. He runs a blog called MoneyDiver.com. It's basically a general, more or less entrepreneurial type online blogging website. He does affiliate marketing and he's getting into interviews. And I guess Borja, if you want to share your story, kind of talk about how you got, started with online marketing, internet marketing.
Yeah, hey John, how you doing? Thank you for having me, man. Um, yeah, so it all goes back to when I was in college, about 7 years ago when I started. I was always starting, businesses and entrepreneurial projects. I had failed a lot because basically I never listened to any advices from my parents, my friends, my teachers. I just went along, and that was my first mistake ever. So my first business was an art distribution business. So that had nothing to do about online business or anything like that, but it was my first entrepreneurial project. So I tried to push that for a couple of months while I was in college. And that was very hard because I had to keep up with tests and exams and everything like that. I travel a lot. I'm originally from Spain. Um, I grew up in South America, in Venezuela. Um, I also went to school in Florida for a couple of years. I went
Oh,
to high
cool.
school in Florida. Um, I travel a lot. My mom lives in Chile. So about 2 years after I tried my first entrepreneurial project, um, like in 2008, I got involved in MLM, in network marketing and all that, with a company called Agile. If you don't mind, naming a company here.
No, no, that's fine. I mean, obviously, if that's where you started, for me, I started with MLM myself, and that's kind of where I started in, I suppose, in this industry. And I did Beachbody. It was a fitness MLM. But,
Oh,
I
really?
feel like a lot, yeah, I feel like a lot of people, get into some of those things. For me, I think over time, I felt like, sort of direct sales, like trying to get people to be, recruit people. It just
Yeah.
wasn't for me. But some people have awesome success with it.
I know, and I know a couple of people that hit it off pretty good with MLM. I didn't really like it, although I was doing good at the beginning.
Yeah.
But I was very young. I was one of the youngest, around my community. I was about 18 years old by the time.
Yeah.
And so, being at that time, I was in Venezuela. So the company was just starting out here. So it was a big opportunity. So I thought I was able to recruit a couple of friends, but everyone around me was, around my age, and usually people that young don't really have access to invest, $1,000 in some
Right.
company. Especially how MLM is, like, everyone thinks they are these, pyramid scams, and I think a lot of companies are, like gray hat or something like that. So
Yeah, I mean, I kind of I know what you mean. I mean, everyone, all the different companies have different like perks and caveats to them, pros and cons.
yeah, yeah. So that's what brought me online, because the fact that I couldn't keep on recruiting people, live, because the people that I recruited didn't have the same success that I did. Um, they were struggling to find new leads. The product wasn't that sellable here.
Yeah.
Um, so I started looking up people online, and I started helping people in forums and stuff like that. But then that was way too slow, and that's what when I started doing Google searches for marketing terms, and slowly uh, internet marketing started coming into my life, and everything about online entrepreneurship started coming into my life. Started learning about that. Um, but then college was tough at the time, so I had to quit everything about my entrepreneurial project. So I just cold turkey quit. So
Yeah, yeah.
about 2 years after that, in 2010, I started a car wash, and that was pretty good. A car wash business that I started.
Oh, from scratch, huh?
Yeah,
Awesome.
and so when I started this car wash, I was just graduating college. That was three years ago. Yeah, 3 years ago. Um, I I got an offer from some guy to buy my car wash, a pretty good offer. So I sold the car wash, and I then decided to go into a company to work with a tourism company that was looking for a marketing management, manager. So I decided to go into the office 9 to 5 job,
Right.
because the guy that owned the company was a friend of mine. He was a bit older than I was, and he needed help, and he offered me a pretty good position by the time. So it was a very small company, but with a lot of capital, a lot of budget. So I started playing around with that, and um, I went to a couple of marketing seminars in here and in
Yeah.
Chile, and that's when I picked back up the online marketing world and business venture world. So I started testing out and with this company, the marketing and advertising. Uh, I started learning. That's when I started learning about building websites, because I didn't know anything about building websites. I knew a couple of things, like very basic HTML and stuff like that from college. I graduated in marketing, by the way. Um, I So I have very very basic knowledge about it. But
Right.
when I started working for the company, when I started working for this company, I was supposed to manage their website and keep track of everything that happened. They didn't even have Google Analytics in their website, and it was also, now I looking back at it, they were so naive. Like,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's funny because I had, just to like go on that point, I spoke with an old friend that I had met years ago, and he runs a web hosting company, and he had analytics set up, but like he just like doesn't even look at it or really like know what like kind of the power behind it, like to see like, what kind of search terms his site is being actually hit for
yeah,
specific organic searches, things like that you can see with analytics. It's just funny that people don't really like realize how powerful it is.
yeah. Which, by the way, Google is shutting down the provided keywords.
I did read. Well, I'm assuming you must have read that on QuickSprout.
Oh, yeah, I read it in Quicksprint from Neil,
Yeah,
but I
from
also
Neil.
read it in I think it was Flip as Forum.
Yeah, I saw Neil post something about it, and I didn't read the
Yeah,
article, but I
yeah,
like.
Neil. Yeah,
Yeah.
Neil posted an article about how you could become a better marketer. You know, how you could actually become a better marketing by that, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely going to be interesting, and I'm sure that's going to change a lot of people's businesses and how it's going to affect a lot of people.
I Something like I don't like a lot about online marketing is that having to rely so much on a company, like in this case Google.
Yeah.
It's something that you can't overlook, but it's a shame. It's a shame that you have to rely so much on a company.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of people, just in trainings and stuff, talk about how they don't focus on SEO because it's way too unpredictable.
Yeah, I mean, I focus on page SEO. I try to do like my website. I try to make it as SEO friendly as possible from the inside.
Yeah.
I don't focus on backlinks. I mean, I reach out to people and I network, and that's as far as I go, because you never know, how radical they can become. And if you're building a business that you want to make it for the long term, like a sustainable business, you don't want to rely on SEO that much, because you never know what can happen. You never know if Google decides to whatever they want to decide, or so. That's something that I always tell people: focus on page SEO, and let the rest come. Like,
Yeah.
I did focus on SEO a lot when I started online. So yeah, let me go back to my story a little bit, so I can
Sure.
so I can get to my blog. So I started learning. I read an SEO book, by the way, and when I was working for this company, I read an SEO book, social media book. I started learning as much as possible, and I started getting in love with the whole the whole concept. I joined the Warrior Forum about 3 years ago. So I started doing some. I remember I bought a course. Um, I think it was. Oh man, I can't remember the name of that course. But anyway, it was a micro niche blogging course
Yep.
that taught how to how to rank like this sniper type of pages that was really hot by the time. So I started doing this type of things for that company. I started ranking for very targeted low competition keywords for this company. I started seeing a lot of success, and that's when I thought, like, hey, if I'm able to drive this much of traffic to this company, I can start building websites for myself and start getting some additional income. So I started doing that on my free time. Then my affiliate income matched my my paycheck. So that's when I quit. That's when I quit my job, and I started focusing on my online ventures. So about a year and a half ago, my mom, who's also an entrepreneur, she lives in Chile, like I said.
Yep.
She applied for this project, this startup project that's in Chile. Is called Startup Chile. It's a government project that they pick up like about 300 companies, startup companies, a year, and they give each company $40,000 to start. Like, you have to submit your team and your papers and everything like that. So my mom started a psychology and personal growth, social media / learning course, with some partners from Spain, from California, and she hit it off pretty well. So she invited me to this conference that, like, it was like the 2-week, main core seminar from this project, the Startup Chile project, and I met a lot of people. I met I met the founder of GroupShark. Have you heard of GroupShark?
Yeah, I think I read that article that you recently posted about I think it was the top was it 15 or 25 entrepreneurs, I think?
Yeah, 25 young entrepreneurs. Yeah.
Yeah, 25 young entrepreneurs under 25. I had no idea that Neil Patel was only like 24.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting article. I'll link it in the show notes for anyone listening, but Borja recently wrote an article that's basically goes over a bunch of entrepreneurs who are, more or less, I think they're all millionaires.
Yeah, they are.
They're under 25 years old, and it's like impressive. I know one of them was mentioned, and that's where I've heard of. I think that's an app, right? You can download music with it, GrooveShark.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, a friend of mine showed me that.
I'm on it all day, all day long.
you can pretty much find whatever. It's like it's not really like a Pandora. It's like
Yeah,
you just search what you want to find, and it will like let you download it,
yeah,
play it.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty interesting. It was a little different, but I mean, obviously, it probably has some limitations. I know with what you can find,
yeah.
but
And the radio, the radio part of that software is it's not like Pandora. It's not that good, but it's pretty good. So
yeah.
yeah. Anyway, I learned about a lot about entrepreneurship at these seminars, um, and about that time, that's when I registered the domain for Money Diver because that's when I had the idea for Money Diver. So then, of course, Panda and Penguin came, and my affiliate websites weren't doing so good because and that's when I decided to not to focus on SEO that much, at least backlinks that much.
Yeah.
So that's when I decided to go hardcore on Money Diver about 7 months ago, and yeah, man, I take it as a real business.
So I mean, is that your primary focus? That blog now is that like the main piece?
Yeah, yes, and the things that are coming along with that blog. Like right now, I'm working on a software which is gonna be pretty big. It's gonna be a research software. I don't want to disclose the details about it because it really is a pretty unique thing. I'll hit you up with the beta test.
Send me the information, and maybe if that's depending on how long down the road, maybe we could do another interview and focus on that if you'd like.
Yeah, and I don't know how it's gonna turn out. I know it's gonna be something different, and it's gonna have some use, one way or another.
Yeah.
It's gonna be beneficial either way. If it's gonna be profitable or not, we'll see. But as long as it helps the people that I want to help, it serves its purpose. So.
Right. Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah.
software is definitely. I find that that's one of the biggest things. Like if you're doing, just looking around, like say in the Warrior Forum, for example, when people are selling like anything that's related to like plugins or software tools, things like that, like themes, like all that stuff just seems to like sell. Like there's not really like because people can even niche it down. Like I just see like people releasing like all these different Amazon plugins for like plugins or themes, like very like niche focused software. So if you can come up with something that people can like use and it's going to be beneficial for their business, then it's going to sell.
Yeah, and it's fun. It's pretty fun to build software. I don't know anything about programming. I mean, I know basic HTML, basic PHP, basic stuff. So I partnered up with a programmer, and I decided to partner up with him because he was looking for a venture. He was looking for a business venture. Yep. And I said, hey, we can partner up and we can split the profits if they come. I can't promise they'll come. And he says, yeah, I'll just do it. I just want to go in on my own. He's about 40-something years old. He's from Chile. Yep. Also, I met him at this startup thing. Startup Chile. You really should put a link to that.
Sure.
StartupChile.org. .org. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll put a link in the show notes. Just remind me.
Because that's something that a lot of people can benefit from. As you know, the current Chile government is very pro capitalism and pro startups, pro entrepreneurship.
Right.
Yeah. I even met the president's son, who's got a startup.
Oh wow.
Yeah. And so yeah. So then, I'm launching also. Yeah, I'm launching an online business course next week. Next week. Yeah. It's called the Online Business School. You're the first ever to know about it.
Awesome.
By the way. Yeah. And I'm launching it because there's a lot of courses out there that focus on so many stuff that beginners, get, overwhelmed, and
Right.
they don't see the big picture about it. So this is a course for people that are looking to establish an online brand, so it covers all the basics of everything they have to know, very step by step, in a detailed manner, so they don't get carried away from it and they don't get burned out by information or overwhelmed or anything like that. So I
So
hope you don't mind me talking about it.
no, no. Is that going to be like a general, like, getting started online, or like
Yeah.
is that very niche specific? What is the?
No, yeah, it's a general getting started online, but focused on building a brand. Not just not just any website or something like that. Just
Right, right,
brand, like Money Diver is my brand.
right. Where
So
someone could build their own, like, I have Voices of Marketing. Someone could build their
like
own.
like it doesn't matter if you're trying to maybe you don't even have a website. You should, but
Yeah.
maybe you don't even have a website, but you have a brand. Like you can have a YouTube channel and a podcast or whatever you want to have, because there's so many ways to broadcast yourself nowadays online. So yeah, man. So
Yeah, I
that's
mean, that sounds good. That's I talked with another fellow recently too, and it was funny because I didn't really know how much there was really out there in this, and he's making like a free podcast course, and he's gonna like go through, and at the end he has like a higher end course you could buy into, but he really goes into like the very details of even setting up like WordPress site. I know, like, for me starting my podcast, I went through a tutorial that Pat Flynn of Smart Passive Income has, and
yeah.
the tutorial is awesome, but he like goes right in like, okay, now install this WordPress plugin. Like, for someone who does never touched WordPress, like, they're not going to have any clue, you know.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. Yeah, that's what I mean with that. Like you can't build a course without covering the basics, because you never know what kind of people is gonna sign up for it. Even though you have you might have some clue, because maybe you have an email list that is intermediate and stuff like
right,
that. You always have to include some resources for beginners, like step by step, like grandma, like
yeah,
grandmother,
yeah,
step by step.
exactly. Yeah, I mean, because
Yes.
it is unreal. Like, if you go on the Warrior Forum, like, there's people that are out there that are just like, asking questions that are just so basic. Like, if you go,
Yeah.
I think I was in the general forum or even earlier today, and just looking at some of the threads, like, people are asking lots of basic things, like trying to get ideas about squeeze pages and other things like that. So there's always a
Yeah.
need for even the basics.
Yeah. Exactly. And the forum is great. I think the Warrior Forum is a pretty good resource.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely like I found my fair share of like people on there that have like valuable information. I mean, it's kind of a mixed bag. I just feel like there's so much there and so many people that there's tons of information to learn. I have like a private membership, so I've got the War Room. I can go into the private War Room membership area of the forum, and that has like
Yeah.
people giving away products for free. And I've read some of them. Like, I checked out one that was a CPA course, and I was like kind of blown away. Like, the strategy was just very sound. Like, and for them to just give it away, like, that information for free is just pretty awesome.
Yeah. There's so much. Like when you try to think about everything that you could do online. I mean, the possibilities are endless, man. It's like a mind could come out with so many strategies or systems. It just depends. It all depends on your environment. Like, if for some reason you end up learning about, I don't know, Craigslist, and you find a
Yeah.
loophole, and then from that loophole you start creating a system, and it all goes down from there. So yeah, I really like that about the online world and all and everything like that. Um, Also, something that I'm starting to do right now, I'm starting to mix the other side of my life. I'm a motocross racer. Uh,
Oh, cool.
yeah, I race pro here in my country and some other places.
Wow.
And so I recently decided to start mixing, mixing the two of them. I should have done it from the beginning, I think, like starting a motocross related online business.
Right. I mean, it's funny because there was a podcast I listened to where this guy had like he like started a podcast regarding I think it's like gis, like the gear you use like for
Yeah,
like doing like martial arts and stuff. And he has like a
yeah,
podcast about it, and it's like so super niche, but he's got this huge audience. Like, you'd be surprised like if you were to start something like that. I was even telling someone else like I was trying to convince him. I don't know if he's going to do it, but he was talking about like how he loves soccer, like just soccer in general, and discussing it. And I was like, man, if you started a podcast for that, like, there's definitely people who love, that would love to hear
yeah,
about
man.
those kinds of things. Like, you could really niche down with anything.
Like Pat Flynn recently had a girl. I don't remember her name, but she was into tarot. Tarot card reading and like
Oh
future
yeah, yeah, yep.
and stuff like that. And she's doing pretty well from that niche. And you would never think like someone could do that well from a niche like that. She's doing like 6 figures, and
Wow.
that's one of Pat's recent SPI's podcast shows.
Yeah, I
So
haven't listened
that
to it.
really, yeah. So that podcast really opened my mind onto the possibilities about niche selection. Like nowadays, I think you can profit from virtually anything. There, everyone wants to learn about anything. So you could create a course about anything, and profit from that. As long
Yeah.
as you're helping people, and as long as people are searching for that online, even though if it's only like I don't know 20,000 people worldwide, um, maybe it's a niche that is so it has so low competition that you can kill it.
Right, right.
For example, like my sister, she's into like fashion and all that, and my dad, he's into music and into jazz. He has a radio station, and he talks about jazz music and art, and all my family is related to art. My family has an art gallery, and my grandmother is a painter. She has an art institute in Florida.
Yeah.
And so uh, the other night, I was thinking like, with the skills that us, online entrepreneurs have, we could leverage, the knowledge of other people and build whatever we want to build. Like for example, I could leverage my sister's knowledge about fashion and build some, I don't know, some styling course,
Yeah.
and she'll be the face. She'll be the face. I'll just do all the business related, or maybe I can partner up with my dad, and I'll record like 100 episodes of him talking about jazz or art, and then I'll build up a blog. I know how to market. You
Yeah.
know, I can pretty much guarantee that that's going to be a low competition niche. So I bet you have someone in your life that knows about anything that you can leverage,
Yeah.
and it's going to be and that's going to be a low competition niche, pretty much guaranteed. Like whatever, I don't know, maybe your cousin is into
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know,
I've got a
whatever.
great example. It's funny because I've been dating a girl a few months, and I've obviously gotten her like really into all this stuff, just talking about it, talking about entrepreneurship and everything I'm focused on, and doing these interviews. And I've made an attempt at like a couple niche sites, and they really didn't take off. But I tried to find something that she would be interested in, and then combine it with the skills I have of being able to say, okay, I could basically build a website with WordPress, and you can fill it with all the products based on the topic. So I did some research, based on what keywords were getting searched, and I found she's really into like clothing that has skulls on it. So I did research based around skulls, and found that the keyword skull clothing is searched like 2,000 times a month, and obviously being about October, it's gonna like trend and it's gonna go way up. So she's actually sitting right next to me right now, and she's adding products on the site using a plugin that she can like go search on Amazon and add new products. And I think she's got like over 500 products on there now, if not maybe even hundreds more. Like she's just been adding to it constantly. So we've made like sort of this like e-commerce site that's using like Amazon affiliates, and it looks like a regular store. It's pretty cool. And so obviously like she can focus on that, and I could, you know, niche into the other stuff, like maybe more of the promotional stuff. So,
yeah, man, that's great.
yeah, so like really for me, like I don't have any real taste in like the clothing side of it, you know, like for me to like look into that or start adding those products, like it's not of interest to me. But for her, like she enjoys like looking up that stuff and finding it on Amazon. And surprisingly, I didn't realize how many articles of clothing have skulls on them. It's pretty insane actually.
Yeah.
But it's very very niche, you know. So that's kind of a cool like example based on what you were talking about.
Yeah, leverage what other people knows with the power and the knowledge that you have about, you know, online marketing and all that. That's
Yeah.
a pretty big advantage, because a lot of people tells me like, oh, Borja, I have, you know, I know everything about, you know, social media and SEO, but I just don't know what to write about. And I tell them like, okay, do you have a friend that knows about, I don't know, pool cleaning? Because
Yeah.
I bet that people search about how to start a pool cleaning business online.
Yeah.
Like, I bet people searches for how to start a pool cleaning business. So yeah, so that's an example. You know, leverage what other people knows.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So I mean, in terms of like Money Diver, you know, what are you currently doing like besides like obviously you've got this course coming out and you're developing software. Like, what are you currently doing like in terms of you know, income with that? I know you mentioned like you had the micro niche blogs and those kind of tanked when the Google updates hit. Are you mostly just doing affiliate marketing now? Like, how are you monetizing the blog?
Yeah, I'm currently monetizing it with affiliate marketing and promoting a couple of products on the blog. I promote Optimize Press. I promote Market Samurai.
Yep.
I promote John Chow's Blogging with John Chow's course.
Yep, I saw that on your ad there. Yep.
Yeah, that's a pretty good course to get started. And I promote a couple of other products like, you know, Aweber and, you know, stuff like that. I'm not a hardcore, you know,
Affiliate marketer.
I'm not really pushy. I only promote I'll only email my list about my posts, so they can go to my blog, and, you know, if they see, if I mention like a product or something, I'll have an affiliate link, and, you know, they can go on from there. And yeah, so that's what I'm doing right now. I'm changing it a bit right now. I'm going into product creation right now.
Yeah.
With the one that I just told you about. So because I think like if I'm telling people how to do stuff, like I should have a product about
Right.
my own way of doing stuff, like instead of, you know, teaching, selling, you know, affiliate products and stuff like that.
Right. No, I think that's good. I mean, I even found I had found someone recently that I partnered up with him, and I helped him like develop his product better and make like an actual membership site out of it. And like we're working on, you know, redoing the sales page and things like that, and just really sprucing it up. So,
Yeah.
you know, it's been sort of that's been interesting because like, you know, I feel like product creation and selling a product is, you know, can be really, you can like, you get it on ClickBank and maybe that starts taking off, you know, you could really do really well.
Yeah. I'm currently at the stage of selecting my affiliate network, you know, the payment processor that I'm going to use.
Right.
I haven't decided yet. I'm looking at a few choices.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, like, I haven't sold any myself, but I really, really like JVZoo.
Yeah, JVZoo pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. The way that their promotional material and how everything's set up, and it's just very like streamlined and how it's all put together.
Yeah, ShareASale is pretty good too. Shareasell.com. That's pretty good too.
Yeah.
ClickBank, of course. One Shopping Cart.
Yep.
That's another good one. Another thing that I'm currently doing with my blog is I'm designing a custom theme, because I don't have a custom theme. I have a premium theme from Genesis, from the Genesis framework, from StudioPress.
Yep.
That's the people from I think that's the people from Copyblogger, I think.
Yep. Yeah, I have a Genesis space theme as well.
Yeah. So I'm designing a custom child theme, and I'm gonna still be using the Genesis framework, but I'm gonna be using the custom child theme.
Okay. Cool.
Because that's another thing that I like a lot, designing.
Right. I mean, if you have the capability to have it done, then you can. It's really limitless in what you could do with the customizations. I know it's funny too, because like with one of the other big ones, Thesis, like people make skins on top of like what's already a nice premium WordPress theme.
Yeah, and the fact that I started designing my own theme, that's what brought me to benchmarking, like I told you when we got started, because that's one of the things that I learned when I was back in college, learning about marketing.
Yeah.
Which is benchmarking. I started looking at all the themes that all my competitors use, which you know who my competitors are, of course. Just been talking about them this whole time.
Yeah.
So I started looking like really deep into what they do, like where do they place the opt-in forms, what colors do they use, what kind of design do they use? Are they using a flat design that's pretty trendy nowadays? Are they using like a Web 2.0 kind of design? Like, do they have the sidebars on the left? Because I think that that really matters, and it's starting to matter more and more every day, because the more targeted you are with your research, the better chances of success right off the start that you're gonna have.
Right.
So I've been doing a lot of benchmarking the last couple of months, and from that process is where the software product started to come up.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because I thought like I want to do a product like helps me do this and all that.
So what is that like? Is it basically going to give you like, kind of? I know a lot of people like they'll use terms like A/B split testing, things like that, so they can see like, you have one variation of a landing page, or some sort of squeeze page, things like that, and people could like minor.
A/B testing is further on the step of your business, because when you start doing A/B testing, you already have a business established, or you already have a website established. You already have some visitors, because in order to do A/B testing, you need to have some traffic, you need to have some visitors. Yeah. Benchmarking is right at the start. It's when you're starting to decide how is it going to look, how's your website going to look, like the first design ever, how's it going to look?
Yeah.
Like what colors are you going to use? Like what products are you going to promote? Stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think that is definitely important, because I mean, even I like to the big one I like is Derek Halpern from Social Trigger raves about it, is the feature box that he has on Social Triggers, and I'm basically doing the same thing on my blog. I've got right when you come on, trying to convince people to get signed up on the mailing list right from the start as soon as they visit the page, and I find a lot of people.
I do the same thing. I also have the feature box on my blog. If you go to the homepage of my blog.
Yeah, I mean yours is basically right there, and you've got it like circled. Enter your name and email, free access.
Yeah.
And then why people should join. It's pretty much right there as soon as people land on the site.
Exactly. Like there's a lot of things that I have to improve on my blog. A lot of things that are very obvious. That I have to improve. I just haven't done so because I'm waiting to get my custom theme. So I haven't really focused on optimizing Moneydiver with the current theme that it has.
Yeah, if you're gonna redesign, it doesn't make sense to.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense that I lose time like doing that. when the theme should be ready in a couple of weeks or so. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to keep an eye out for that and see your changes. I'm also curious about the software. Like, I like the idea of, like, because I always hear about the A/B testing and stuff, and I feel like for me, like, I'm just not at that stage yet where I could, make these like changes and notice. Because
yeah,
right now it's so minor that, because my audience is still very new and it's building. So once I get to a bigger point, that's really when it will,
yeah, but you are at the stage where you can look at your competitors' blog and see how they are built, how they are structured, and how's the layout and all that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. So is that like, does your software like kind of dig into like see what other people are doing and like, figure out, okay, like how are these things placed? Like, what is it sort of like what's the idea of like what it's going to be actually able to do for people?
well, I don't want to release like insights about it, but but yeah, it's gonna help you to figure out like what others are doing and why what paths you should take. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean that definitely does sound useful, especially for people starting out, because I mean, if you didn't set it up right in the first place, then you're probably not really setting yourself up for success if you're not going to be, I think for a lot of people, getting leads and email signups into your mailing list is pretty crucial for an online business.
Yeah, yeah, and a lot of people don't know about that.
Yeah.
So like if you take a look at the major motocross websites,
Right.
like Trans World Motocross or all these other major media websites, none of them do email marketing. None of them do email marketing. Like some of the online stores like BTO Sports or stuff like that, they'll do email marketing, but only to people that are already customers. They don't got their emails.
Right.
And that's a pretty big mistake, and that's where people like us can leverage on these kind of niches where even the big guys, the big marketing managers inside these companies don't know about the stuff that we do.
Right. It is a little like it's something I've talked about with a few people. Is like you go to school for this stuff, but it's not really it's not at all the same as what's really what you're finding when you go and look and learn about it online.
Yeah, I know. Like the other day, I was looking at an MBA program about entrepreneurship, and it's the first ever college program that I see an internet marketing class on it. This MBA had an internet marketing class on it, and I think that this is something that we're gonna start seeing more and more every day on the next couple of years. Like people are gonna realize that the online world is really important, and that you really do have to master like viral marketing and content marketing and all that. So people are gonna start taking it more seriously, more and more.
Yeah. Well, man, I think we've been going for about 40 minutes here. I think figure we could probably wrap this up. You shared a lot. I really appreciate you, taking the time today to come on and talk about your blog and these upcoming projects. You'll have to let me know like when they're released and everything. Your online course and your software that you're coming out with for benchmarking. I think that's definitely really interesting. I'd like to hear about that when it's released.
Yeah, shouldn't take long. Like I'm sure it's gonna be live in a couple of weeks. I wouldn't be discussing that many details with you if I wasn't sure that it's gonna be live soon enough. So,
all right, cool. All right, well, thanks a lot for coming on.
Yeah, thank you for having me, man.
Yeah, no problem. Talk to you later.
See ya.